Hey everyone, welcome to my channel Kel Stitches. I'm Kelly and this is a place where I talk about my addiction to cross stitching. Today is Monday, 3rd of June 2024 and this is Flosstube number 48. I'd just like to say welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you for dropping in and spending some time with me. And welcome back, and thank you to any of my returning subscribers. Very much appreciated, guys, that you come back every fortnight, every time that I film a video. There may be a few pauses in this video because I have got a bit of a cold, just a bit of a head cold, so I may have to pause at times to blow my nose. And in saying that, I am going to try to get through this as quickly as possible and not ramble on too much, so I'm not going to, so I don't have to pause too many times. I have already blown my nose before I started, so hopefully it'll hold off for a little bit before I have to do it again. Alright guys, let's just get straight into what I have stitched on and how much I've stitched on. So the first one that I worked on was this, called Oh Great Spirit, and it is an old dimensions chart. And the artwork is by Linda K. Powell. 1996. The copyright was of this was. So let me find it. That's it. Alright, so I'll put up a picture of where it was. And this is currently where I'm up to. So as you can see, I have filled in a lot more of those mountains and stuff there. And starting to work into the feathers and stuff in the headdress of the chief. So that is looking really, really good. This sun up here is half stitch, as well as that bit there and that bit there. So typical of dimensions, there is half stitch and full cross in there. Looking at the pattern, they're all only there's no silly thread amounts like 6 threads for this one and 4 for that one and stuff like that. I don't think those sort of things actually came in until later, or yeah, later into their making of the kits and stuff. So a lot of these patterns just used a full cross or half cross in 2 strands. So that's looking really good. I am loving how it's stitching up. I enjoy stitching on this every time I pull it out. And there is beads that will go in here. And I think there's some up in its headdress that will, some beads go in there. But I'm going to stitch down to here, which is about halfway in the pattern, I think. I'm going to stitch down to there before I fill in any of the back stitch and stuff like that. And then I'll wait until I do the whole project before I actually put the beads on. And I worked on this for 2 days and I got 1,200 stitches into it. And it's just being stitched on 18 count white 8. Oops. Alright. Next one I worked on was this one. It is the Out of the Savannah sale, hosted by Cross Stitch for Everyone. This is the 2024 sale for this year. So we just got the, I think it's the 10th, 11th page, something like that, which is over here the other day on the 1st. So yeah. So I think this tree's in it, but I don't know if any of this other stuff is actually in the design. That's the one. Alright, I will put a picture of where it was. And now this is where I'm up to with it. So as you can see, I've got a fair bit more stitching in. I'm not doing the white here. I have done some of the white that's in amongst the tree, but I don't know if I will continue on with that as I get further into the pattern, like further down here, because there is some big chunks of white down here. So I think I might just eventually leave them out, just leave all the white stitches out, unless it is a very prominent thing, unless there's like a zebra or something there, and then I'll do the white stitches. I think I will just have to play that by ear as I keep stitching on it, but I am definitely not doing the big chunks of white here that are the background. But maybe anything that's in the trees or anything like that, I might have to do it, since I've already started the white stitching in there. I might have to keep doing it. I will just have to see as I keep stitching on it. So I stitched on this for 2 days and I got 1,100 stitches into it. And it is just being stitched on, pretty sure it's 18 count aider. But it is looking good. I am loving how that tree is coming in. So I'll just keep plugging away at it until we get it all done. Definitely not keeping up with it, that's for sure. Next one that I worked on was this one. I call this Trouble Wolf, but I don't know if it's, I don't think it has a name. It is from an Etsy seller called 2x2 Stitch Art. I don't know if she names it, but I've called it Trouble Wolf. So that is what it'll look like when it is completed. And this is where I'm up to with it. As you can see, have I moved the hoop? Have I moved the nudge? Oh, that's where it was. Anyway, as you can see, I have filled in this front paw and the rest of this. So I've only got a little bit here to finish off this curl here. It comes around and then I will be into the border. So that is pretty much all that wolf done. I do have a couple of stars over here to finish off once I head over that way, but that is pretty much that wolf done. So I am heading to a finish on that one, and this is being stitched on 14 count Ada that is from Paddock Lane Designs. I bought it in one of her die spot sales. As you can see, there's a couple of die spots there, which doesn't concern me. Die spots don't concern me. In patterns like this, I often find that they enhance or add to the pattern. So yeah, I bought that from Lisa at Paddock Lane Designs, and I stitched on this for 2 days and I got 1,400 stitches into it. It's very easy stitching because it is monochromatic, and I am using Etoile 823. So it does have a bit of a sparkle to it. You probably can't really see that, but it does have a bit of a sparkle to it when you get it on the right angle. And then once this is finished, I will have to decide how I'm going to finish it. I was thinking about doing it as a pillow, but then I think I did say something about making it into a bag or something like that. So I will make that decision once I get it finished. All right, next one that I worked on was this Daydream Sea Turtles. Artwork is by Sheena Pike and it is charted by Charting Creations. So I am up in this section here where these flowers are, and the little baby sea turtle is concentrating on stitching that area. Now, this is where I've got to it with it. So as you can see, the sea turtle, the baby turtle's starting to come in here. That is his flipper down there. So that's his flipper there. Always think baby sea turtles are cute because their flippers are bigger than what the rest of their body is. So yeah, and that's his shell. I've got basically this flower filled in, that one's filled in, so then we've got the blue flower here and going up into the background up in this corner. But I got some good stitching in on this after where was it? In this section here somewhere. I stitched and frogged and restitched it about 3 times because first time I was too far over by 1 stitch, then the next time I was too far down by 2 stitches, and then the third time I actually had it right. By the third time, because of course I was cursing and swearing at myself because I had 3 colours stitched in here, as you can see, 3 different greens. So each time I had to frog the 3 different colours and restitch them, and I was, of course, swearing at myself. And by the third time, the partner says to me, "Hun, I think you should put that project away and stitch on something else because obviously it is not happening for you today." But I persevered and managed to get them stitched in the right place and continued to stitch on it. So I did work on this for 2 days and I got 1,800 stitches into it. So I am actually moving along with this quite quickly now. I was a bit bogged down here in the doing the big sea turtles down around here. A lot of confetti, a lot of colour changes. But now that I'm up here, I'm stitching along quite quickly. So at the rate I'm stitching on this, getting the 1,800 stitches into it, it is going to be close, I think, to actually, I might be actually getting my goal done on this one this year. So, and that's just being stitched on 16 count either. 2 seconds, I just need to wipe my nose. Alright, the next one that I stitched on was this one. It is called No Time Like the Present, and this is the Modern Folk Embroidery sale for 2024. Now, I was sticking in because they had it, even though when we bought it, we were given the whole pattern. And but we were given 2 patterns. You had the one pattern that had it cut into the 12 sections, and then we were just given the whole pattern. And I've just been using the whole pattern. And I was just trying to stay in the monthly sections, but obviously I'm not going to keep up with the monthly stitching for that. So I just went rogue and started to stitch wherever I wanted to stitch, and it actually makes me happier because I have managed to get quite a bit of stitching in, rather than sticking in the rows or column rows. Yes, rows. So this is where I've got up to it. Sorry, there is a bit of thread hanging there that I got to there and just left it hanging, because then I'll come back and fill in this bit of blue in there. But this is where I'm up to. As you can see, I've finished off and I've moved down, and I have, so I'm using gold diamond from DMC for the metallics. So that stuff, a pain in the backside to work with. Cut short lengths. I only use about that length. Oops. Maybe about 18 inches, if that. I generally don't measure it. I'll just wind out so much and cut it off. So short lengths and thread wax are your best friends, or is your best friend when you're using any type of metallic like that, because otherwise it's just a pain in the backside. So as you can see, I am using it in here around the border, but then I am just going to use a little bit here and there as focal points. So these little bits in here, and then that bit in the spire, and I'll do the same on the other side. So as I'm stitching, I will just decide where I'm going to use the gold metallics. This is being stitched on a 20 count Rustico, and I am using the colourway of 832 for the yellowy gold or old gold colour, and 322. So that's the colourway that I'm using, as well as the diamond. Now when you put these in into Pattern Keeper, it is so easy. If you go into Edit Legend, you can play around with colour schemes as much as you want to see what colours you like for these patterns, because Jacob just done it in this colour, and of course not everyone's going to want to do it in red and blue. So that's what I've done. First off, I got Judy to, because I hadn't actually bought the pattern yet, whereas Judy, an Aussie in the Kiwi world, had actually bought the pattern, and I asked her to do a couple of colour schemes for me on hers, and once I sort of figured out what colour schemes I liked, I bought the pattern and then played around a little bit more with it myself. And yeah, that's what I came up with. So that is looking really good. On the 20 count, it is only going to be a smaller piece. I have also got the Sal from last year. What was it called? Sky's the Limit. I've also got it, which I'm going to do in the same colour scheme, but I'll probably swap it around a little bit. This is the two colours are basically even in stitch count for those, but it's sort of, it's even, but there's, like as you can see here, it looks like there's more, like the blue is actually the focal point more so than the other colour. So on the other one I'm going to try to swap it around, and whatever one that looks the most colour on that one, I will swap it over for Sky's the Limit. Alright, I worked on that one for 2 days and I got 1,500 stitches into it. Next one is Wolves, or what I call Wolves. It is actually called Moonrise Song. This is the large version. The artwork is by Abraham Hunter and it is charted by Artisy Cross Stitch. So I am working up in here at the top of this, in a little bit of the Northern Lights up there. Didn't the Northern Lights put on quite a show a couple of weeks ago? Absolutely gorgeous. I've seen all the photos. We call them the Southern Lights here in Australia because that's where we mainly see them, is way down south in like in Tasmania and South Australia and stuff like that. So we call them the Southern Lights. Sometimes if they're strong enough, we can actually see a very, very faint sheen right up where we are, but not this time around. There was a couple of nights where it was very overcast and rainy, so didn't get to see them, but there was a lot of really nice pictures. A lot of fake ones out there too, done by AI, of course, but you can mainly tell those ones. But there's so many nice pictures. I would love to see the Northern Lights in person one day. But anyway, this is where I've got up to. So I am almost finished. Probably only got a couple of 100 stitches in there to finish that. That is all one colour left in there. 3844, 3812, something like that, I think it is. So yeah, once I finish there, I'll move across and do some more. Try to get the top row of background done. But it is looking really good. It's going to be a massive piece. As you can see, I've got it folded up, but it is going to be a massive piece. This is on 16 count. Yep, 16 count Ada. And I worked on this one for 2 days and I got 1,400 stitches into it. If I had have pushed myself, I would have been able to get that in, but I think even then I was starting to feel the effects of getting sick. So yeah, but I am loving the way that is looking. It looks so good. Alright, I'm going to pause for 2 seconds so I can blow my nose. Alright, back. Alright, next one that I worked on was this one. And that is upside down. Happy Mood Point. It is the Quaker Sampler. This is from Happy Mood Point on Etsy. As I said every time, they no longer go by Happy Mood Point, but if you put in Happy Mood Point, their store will come up with a change of name. So a little bit of a thing with this. This is where I was up to with it. So yes, I did have a bit already done. But one, I was running out of the petite treasure braids that I was using, and I was having to buy more, and they are quite expensive. And it is a decent sized project, as you can see. So what I decided, I was enjoying stitching on it, but I wasn't enjoying stitching on it, if you know what I mean. I liked the pattern, but I wasn't happy with my choice of threads. So I restarted it. Oops, sorry, that was gross. So I restarted, and I decided to use black fabric this time. And this is where I've got to with it. Oh my god, look at those colours. That is gorgeous. So when I decided to restart, I was like, I've got all these silks that I've bought over time, and had this one given to me at Christmas time. This one is called Fairy Lights by Silks For You. I'm pretty sure it was a limited edition. I don't know if there's any more on their website, but I thought that would look so good on black fabric. So that's what I done. I restarted a new start restart, and that is what it looks like. Those colours are amazing. Look at that on the black. Look how much it pops. Yeah, it just looks amazing. I am so happy with that. That is 2 days of stitching, and I got 1,200 stitches into it. Sorry. And that is, yeah. So basically, I started in the middle this time. Sorry, back again. Just had a sneezing fit and had to blow my nose again. So I started in the middle this time, and basically what I'd done was I cut it in half, the hank in half, and then I just cut it in half again. So the two sides are basically exactly the same. So it doesn't really matter what one I use. It's going to match up, as you can see. So they're both halves of the hank have all the colours on them. And just pulling one strand at a time and just working with it, and just working wherever I want to go. So I done this one, and then with this one I started with these outlines and done the whole thing right around, and then I came in and done the triangles in here, and now I'm going to go up and finish off these sections down through here, and then go into the middle and finish that middle. So what one am I working on? It will be this one. This is the one that I'm working on. So as you can see, I've got that bit there, but I am loving the way that's turning out. The only thing that I don't know what I'm going to do is these strings that are holding some of them up, and the little whatsies that the strings are attached to, and this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. The only thing I am considering is leaving them off altogether. leaving off the rod that they're tied to and the strings and their little, I don't even know what they're called, them little things that you attach the strings to, leaving them off altogether, so they're just floating. It's just going to be like a sampler with all different coloured baubles on it. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I don't know how else or what I'm going to do about it. The curtain rod that they're hanging on, I don't know, but I was thinking that that's the silver. I was thinking I could just use this petite treasure braid to do the strings, and I do have some silver left that I could do the little connecting parts with, but the rod I don't know. So what I'm thinking I'm just going to do is I'll just do all of the baubles and then decide from there. If I like the look of it without the strings and the rod, I will leave it as is. If I decide to do it, I can go back in and stitch those in. So yeah, a new start, restart, and it is looking amazing. And I've got it in a small knockoff Nerge that I got from Temu. So yeah, that is that. That's all of my stitching. I got 9,600 stitches into it overall for the fortnight, which is pretty good going, I think. So that should give me some good numbers on my boards. Which I will just grab. Okay, so this one's my full coverage one. I'll grab my pens out and we will get into marking these off. That is really annoying me. Alright. I can't even remember how I've done this before. Like that, I think. That shine is really annoying. Okay, that'll do. Great Spirit is not a full coverage. Out of the Savannah is a full coverage, even though by the time I take all the background out of it, it will not be a full coverage, but still. So we've got 1100, which brings that to 4,610 stitches. Daydream Sea Turtles got 1,800, which makes that 4,000. So I've caught up on that one pretty well. Next one is Lunar Song, right over this end. Got 1,400 into that, which brings me to 4,900. Well, would you look at that? Only 100 stitches off of reaching my 5,000 halfway mark on that one. If I had have just stuck to it and done them last couple of 100 stitches, I would have been right. But that's okay. That's fine. I've still got a couple of weeks before we reach halfway to be able to get that that done. And it looks like I've got a lot of full coverages for this fortnight. Alright, next board is my small full coverage and non-full coverage pieces. Righty-o. Yeah, don't bite there. Okay, Great Spirit is right here. We got 1,200. And that brings us to 4,900. 100 stitches off reaching that goal. I know there were a few of you going, ah, because it was this on here, the year in the woods when I was only 40 stitches away from reaching the goal. There was a few that commented and were like, oh, so close to reaching your goal. And I was like, yeah, I should have just stitched those 40 stitches in while I was filming, just so I could reach the goal. But that's all right. That's fine. We will get there. Trouble Wolf got 1,400, which makes that 4,700. Modern Folk Embroidery is over here. Got 1,500, which also makes that 4,700. And Happy Mood Point, which is here. So I was already 2,600 into that, but I'm just going to cross those out and we will start fresh. So we go 1,200 stitches. Well, if you look at that, I'm in one stitching session of 2 days. I'm nearly halfway at what I was already at with the Happy Mood Point Quaker. So definitely stitching quicker. Even though it's black fabric, it is a pain in the ass to actually see the holes. But I am obviously stitching quicker on it because I got so many stitches done over 2 days. But as you can see, there are a few there that will reach the 5,000 mark by the time I stitch on them next, which is really good. Alright, so that's the boards done. Next thing is these. I'm not going to bother shaping them and carrying on because there is only the 7 of them. 7 of them left, so I will just pull them out and show you. So we got Shaped Wolf. I'll quickly chop them down as I'm going. Tiger Lily. Mini Shaman. Moon Wolf 1. Horse Portrait. 2 more wild. And oops, spirit guides. So this fortnight is going to be very heavily on the full coverage side from the looks of that. Now let me find the cover photos so we can quickly have a look. So we have horse portrait, spirit guides, shaped wolf, moon wolf 1, mini shaman, wild, and tiger lily. So they are the 7 projects that I will be working on this fortnight to get some stitches into them, see if I can get some of them closer to their goals or to their halfway goals at least. And all these can go back in. So I'm really enjoying the way I've got my rotations set up with having the 21 whips and choosing 7 of them, pulling 7 of them out every 2 weeks. I am really enjoying the way that is working out for me, because most of the time I do get a mix of full coverage and smaller projects, like large full coverage and smaller projects in that. So it breaks the monotony of the full coverage projects up a little bit, which is really, really good. Even though I do love full coverage projects, it's nice to have some of them smaller ones included in there. So, few acquisitions was, I did make an order on Temu after watching Alara's video about stitching supplies on Temu. It was mainly, I just bought some of the needles that she got and recommended, and I did buy some of the knockoff Nerge frames. I have looked at them before, and I have heard, well, I looked at them on AliExpress, and people said that they weren't very good quality. They were very flimsy. Yeah, tightening screw didn't work after a while, like it had stripped the thread and stuff like that. And they're a little bit more expensive on AliExpress as well. So I never bothered to buy them. I would just buy some proper Nerge frames when I used my voucher to get my Pain-Free Crafts kit every 6 months. I'd just throw in a couple of Nerge frames because they're that light. They don't make any difference to postage or anything like that. So that's what I do. But it just means that my frames build up slowly because I'd only order every 6 months. So when Alara done her video about the stitching supplies on Temu, there was only the couple of things that I really wanted to try, and that was the needles and the Nerge, or the frames, and the frames are, I got two of, well, I got 4. That's not one of them, but I got 2 that size. I think it's that size. Hang on, let me go and get them. So I got two of this size, which are 6.5 inch ones. So they are the plastic is not flimsy at all. And the tightening screw so far is working amazing. They do have a Phillips screwdriver head in the end of them, so you can actually get in there and tighten them more, which is the issue with the Nerds. You can't actually, once you get to a certain point with finger strength, you can't tighten them anymore, because they don't have anything in the end of them to get that extra tightness. So I got two of those size, and then I got two of this size, which are the 8.6 inch, which are not, they are actually the same size as that. So they're exactly the same size as those ones, which is a really good size, because your proper Nerge actually keeps them really tight at that size, so I'm hoping that this one will as well. The only thing I didn't do was get any of the bigger ones, which is like the 11-inch ones. I didn't get any of those, so I may order some of them down the track another day. But so far so good. I am using, as I said, I am using the one of them on this, and it's keeping it nice and tight. As you can see, I have not got it screwed right down. They give you plenty of, I don't think I told you, 18 count black Aida. It's very see-through. It's not a thick fabric, it's not crunchy, it's a very soft fabric. I bought this fabric off AliExpress. So they give you plenty of tightening space in there, but that is like, that's tight. Like, I like my fabric drum tight. Very easy to put on and off. So far I am loving them, so I will see how they hold up to a lot of use. So a lot of moving them, taking them on, putting them on, screwing them, unscrewing them, you know, that sort of stuff that we put all of our hoops through. I will see how they hold up, but honestly, $3, I think that one was $3 each, and these ones were $4 each, something like that. And the bigger ones, each size is a different colour as well on Temu. So you do have your even smaller ones than those, like your little tiny ones like that. I think they're a purple. So it goes purple, green, apricot, dark blue. I think that's the biggest. I think the 11.5 inch is the biggest, and they're only like $6, the 11.5 ones. Even though I do get the Nerge ones pretty cheap from Sarah, they're like, I think they work out to be $10 each once I do the conversion from pounds to Australian dollars. I think they're like $10 each. So they're still cheap, but a couple of dollars. These ones are a couple of dollars cheaper. And I have seen a few other things on Temu that I'd like to probably try out for stitching. So I may just add a few things to my cart and get them eventually. Everything's so cheap on there that, and I get free postage as well. So, but not everyone probably likes it because of where it's situated and all that, but I just think in this time when everyone's starting to have to tighten their money situation, if you can get away with pretty good quality things that help you with your hobby, why not? Each their own, I suppose. But anyway, so I got those from Temu and I'm quite happy with them. So that's just me. That's all the acquisitions. There's not much else stitching wise to talk about. Not much else going on at work either. Partner and I did go for a little day trip. Not last week. Last week we went to Coffs Harbour. Week before we went up to a little place called Jack Adgery that is about half an hour away up, sort of heading up the mountain a bit. And they do really good burgers at the store there. So we got a burger and then we decided to get an ice cream. Now, when you think of 2 scoops of ice cream, you think normal scoops, don't you? Nope. No, not at Jack Adgery store. 2 scoops of ice cream looks like this. I swear to God, it had over a litre of ice cream. Because when I was watching the girl scoop them out, she's scooping and scooping and scooping and scooping. I'm thinking, no, sorry, love, like, that's 2 scoops of ice cream right there. We got them in a cup rather than a cone. Thank God we got them in a cup. That's 2 scoops of ice cream right there. Like, that's enough. That'll do. But this was an 8 ounce, 6 ounce or 8 ounce takeaway cup that you get coffees in. She filled that up with the first flavour of ice cream, and then she put the second flavour of ice cream on top. And as you can see from that photo, oh my God, there was so much ice cream there. It was ridiculous. And to top it off, they gave you this spoon to eat it with. Don't mind my sticky fingers. They are gross because the ice cream was melting very quickly. And no matter how much you licked it, well, me anyway, no matter how much I licked it or anything, it was just melting. The partner handled his pretty well, but I was holding on trying to lick it, so I think the heat from my hands was melting it, and then of course it was coming out of the cup, whereas he had it sitting on the table and he was using his little spoon to eat it. So yeah, that was the spoon that they gave, which is like your little teaspoons. They didn't give you a normal spoon. Oh no. They had to give you a smallest spoon possible to eat this humongous ice cream with. And then of course we're sitting there and I've got ice cream running down my arms, dripping off onto the seat beside me. And the local honey eater birds all came down, and they're all sitting on the end of this picnic table, and there was one sitting right beside me, and I could just see it looking at my arm and the drips of ice cream coming off my arm. And its fear of me won out because it didn't come too close, but I could just see that it wanted to come over and lick this ice cream dripping off my elbow so badly. But I finished my ice cream. I got up. I was halfway through and I wanted to go and wash my hands, but I knew that I still had half the ice cream left. And the sticky hands was just, yeah. So I got up, and once I was finished, I got up to go and wash my hands. As I'm walking back to the picnic table, here's the birds on the chair, on the table, licking all the ice cream up. And then there was 3 of them, because I had my bag sitting on the table as well. There was 3 of these birds standing around my bag. I don't know why they were standing around my bag, but they were. And then the partner finished his, and he got up and then they all just flew in. So the cleanup crew flew in to clean up the table. I've got a little video that I'll pop in of them licking up the ice cream. So they're honey eaters, so they do have a tongue that comes out and licks up all the nectar and stuff like that. So that was yeah, that was funny as. And I do have some photos that I'll pop in afterwards to just some photos of further up at the river, where we stopped and walked along the riverbank a little bit and stuff like that. So I'll pop them in at the end. But yeah, that was our little adventure. A little bit of a funny story about the ice cream. They are huge ice creams, I tell you. They're massive. Like, seriously. They are kind of famous in the area for the size of their ice creams. And this ice cream only cost us $9. That was 2 scoops of ice cream. As I said, you would expect 2 scoops just to be your normal scoops. No. Not these ice creams. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I will leave it as that. By the time I add some photos in and edit this, it'll nearly be an hour. I was going to try to keep it a little bit shorter, but that didn't happen, did it? Sorry for any snuffling or any grossness that might have occurred during the video. I will try to edit most of it out if I possibly can. But that's what happens when you've got a bit of a head cold, isn't it? Alright, guys. So once again, thank you very much for stopping in, checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen today and you continue to enjoy any content that I put out. I will do another video in 2 weeks' time, which will be on the... What's today? Today's the 3rd. There. Which will be the 17th. So I will put another video out on the 17th, all going well, hopefully. But yeah. Alright, guys, so thank you very much. I will leave it as that. Please, whoops, kicked the tripod, nearly kicked you over. Sorry for the wobble. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Please, wherever you are in the world, take care and stay safe. Until next time. Bye. Quickly, this is how I now have my stitching set up. As you can see, I have Waterhole Master on my stand. There's my gust stand. Now this, as you can see, this lamp right here, it's just this little one there that I got off Temu. So it's just got a little clamp that just clamps on, and this is a pretty strong arm, and you can twist and bend and what haven't you, however you like. So it has 3 light settings. So there is the bright one, then you've got like a yellowy one, and then you've got, well, that's a yellowy one too, but it's not really showing it. So that's your bright, like bright light LED, whatever they want to call it. That's your really yellow sepia toned one. It's not actually showing it as yellow on here as what it actually is, but it is very yellow. And then you've got warm colour, which is still not showing it as yellow as what it is on there. But I usually just have it on the brightest one, and as you can see, it lights it up very, very well. I can see all of the holes where I'm meant to be stitching. So yeah, that is just how I now have my stitching setup done. If I'm not working on my stand, I usually have my stand pushed back, and I will just twist the lamp so like so it's shining more at me when I am stitching on my smaller things that are in a smaller hoop or anything like that. But yeah, and that doesn't get in my road. If I pull my sorry, I'm gonna move a little bit. If I pull this forward to actually where I'm usually sitting and stitching. Right, so usually I have it in pretty close so I can reach it. Like that's my stitching right there. And the lamp is, can't really show you, but it's sort of just above my head. So it's like, yeah, it's not in my road or anything. I can always bend it into a different position. So I just thought I'd do a quick video and show you how I'm set up now. I do attribute this to actually being able to stitch better because, as you can see, you can actually see it really well. And this little lamp only cost me $12 off Temu, but you can get it on Amazon. I did have one that the son stole for his Warhammer painting of his figurines and stuff. He stole that one. It was $19 on Amazon, and then I just bought that one for myself off Temu. So if you're having issues seeing your fabric, grab yourself just a cheap little desk lamp. It is plugged into power, so you will need a power supply for it somewhere. But yeah, grab yourself a little lamp and see how that works for you. All right, guys, I will see you back on my video. Bye.